Hello and welcome to this episode of Ghostlight. I'm your host, Rebecca. This is a virtual concert series, and if you look in the details below or next to this video, there will be a link for making donations to the COVID-19 Solidarity Response Fund. This is a fund set up by the World Health Organization to respond to the pandemic crisis of COVID-19. According to their website, the World Health Organization is leading and coordinating the global effort with a range of partners, supporting countries to prevent, detect, and respond to the pandemic. Donations support the World Health Organization's work, including with partners, to track and understand the spread of the virus, to ensure patients get the care they need and frontline workers get essential supplies and information, and to accelerate research and development of a vaccine and treatments for all who need them. While not required to enjoy this concert, we ask that you consider donating. Now, on to the show. All of these performers are currently students ranging from freshmen to seniors at the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. These students came together on their own to come up with a way to attempt to aid in the current crisis while still providing an outlet for their creativity. Like the ghostlight in a theater, creativity never goes out. This is the first act in a 3-act concert, which will take place over the next few weeks. This act is entitled Typecast, which is defined as a role or character repeatedly assigned to a performer based on their look or abilities. Each of these performers was tasked with coming up with a song for a role in which they would be typecast. Our first number is from Into the Woods, music and lyrics by Stephen Sondheim. Set in the fictional world of Grimm's fairy tales, Into the Woods tells the story of what happens after Happily Ever After. This is on the steps of the palace, being performed by our wide-eyed soprano princess, Lauren Mund.
He's a very smart prince. He's a prince who prepares, knowing this time I'd run from him. He's read pitch on the stairs. I was caught unawares, and I thought, well, he cares. This is more than just malice. Better stop and take stock while you're standing here stuck on the steps of the palace. You think, what do you want? You think, make a decision. Why not stay and be caught? You think, well, it's a thought, what would be his response? But then what if he knew who you were when you know that you're not what he thinks that he wants? And then what if you are what a prince would envision? Although how can you know who you are till you know what you want, what you don't? So then which do you pick? Where you're safe out of sight and yourself, but where everything's wrong? Or where everything's right and you know that you'll never be long? And whichever you pick, do it quick, cause you're starting to stick to the steps of the palace. It's your first big decision. The choice isn't easy to make. To arrive at a ball is exciting and all. Once you're there, though, it's scary. And it's fun to deceive when you know you can leave, but you have to be wary. There's a lot that's at stake and you've stalled long enough, cause you're still standing stuck in the stuff on the steps. Better run along home and avoid the collision. Even though they don't care, you'll be better off there where there's nothing to choose, so there's nothing to lose. So you pry up your shoes, think from out of the blue, and without any guide, you know what your decision is, which is not to decide. You'll just leave him a clue, for example, a shoe, and then see what he'll do. Now it's he and not you who is stuck with a shoe in the stew, in the goo. And you've learned something too, something you never knew, on the steps of the palace.
This next song is from Newsies. Based on the 1992 film of the same name, Newsies is a historical musical comedy based on the newsboy strikes of 1899. The musical features a score by Alan Menken with lyrics by Jack Feldman. In this song, the newsboy's hero, Jack Kelly, sings of his dream life in Santa Fe. Here it is, performed by our hero, Coltyn Parks.
Folks, we finally got our headline. Newsies crushed as bulls attack. Crutchy's calling me, the Crips just too damn slow. Guys are fighting, bleeding, falling, thanks to good old Captain Jack. Captain Jack just wants to close his eyes and go! Let me go far away, somewhere they won't ever find me, and tomorrow won't remind me of today. When the city's finally sleeping and the moon looks old and gray, I get on a train that's bound for Santa Fe. And I'm gone, and I'm done. No more running, no more lying, no more fat old men denying me my pay. Just a moon so big and yellow, it turns night right into day. Dreams come true, yeah they do in Santa Fe. Where's it say you cannot live and die here? Where's it say you can catch a break? Why should you only take what you give it? Why should you spend your whole life living trapped where there ain't no future? Even at 17, breaking your back for someone else's sake. If the life don't seem to suit ya, how about a change of scene? Far from the lousy headlines and the deadlines in between. Santa Fe, my old friend, I can spend my whole life dreaming, though I know that's all I seem inclined to do. Like getting any younger, and I want to start brand new. I need space and fresh air. Let them laugh in my face, I don't care. Save my place, I'll be there. Just be real is all I'm asking, not some painting in my head. 'Cause I'm dead if I can count on you today. I got nothing if I ain't got Santa Fe.
Based on a single mention of real-life son Charlemagne, Pippin is a musical about having enough desire and direction to change the path of your story, no matter how hard that may be, with music and lyrics by Stephen Schwartz. In this next song, Catherine, a widow tasked with making the titular Pippin realize how boring ordinary life is, comes to realize that she may care for Pippin in a rather extraordinary way. Here is the absolutely extraordinary Sadie Collins singing I Guess I'll Miss the Man from Pippin.
I guess I'll miss the man. Explain it if you can. His face was far from fine, but still I'll miss his face and wonder if he's missing mine. Some days he wouldn't say a pleasant word all day. Some days he'd scowl and curse, but there were other days when he was really even worse. Some men are heroes, some men outshine the sun, some men are simple good men. This man was entwined, and I won't miss his moods, his gloomy solitudes, his blunt, abrasive style. But please don't get me wrong, he was the best to come along in a long, long while.
Nothing beats the madcap musical antics of the 1930s, and Anything Goes may just be the maddest of all. With music and lyrics by Cole Porter, this musical sets sail aboard a fictional ocean liner with love, faked identities, and absolute foolishness. Here, the surprisingly optimistic Public Enemy number 13, Moonface Martin, sings about his life motto to be like the bluebird. Sung here by precious Isaiah Owens.
There's an old Australian bush song that Melba used to sing, a song that always cheered me when I was blue. Even Melba said this bush song was a hell of a song to sing. So be quiet whilst I render it for you. When your instinct tells you that disaster is approaching you faster and faster, then be like the bluebird and sing tweets, tweets, tra-la, la-la, la-la. When you know you're headed for the jailer, don't allow your face to look paler. Then be like the bluebird and sing tweets, tweets, tra-la, la-la, la-la.
Are you up for a little more optimism? Set in the Pacific Islands in the middle of World War II, South Pacific is the Rodgers and Hammerstein's musical that centers on an American nurse named Nellie Forbush, whose love story with an expatriate Frenchman is at the heart of this complicated wartime epic. Here, Nellie, sung by Emeline Phinney, sings to her lover about how, no matter what the world throws at her, she can't help but be optimistic.
When the sky is a bright canary yellow, I forget every cloud I've ever seen. So they call me a cockeyed optimist, immature and incurably green. I have heard people rant and rave and bellow that we're done and we might as well be dead. But I'm only a cockeyed optimist, and I can't get it into my head. I hear the human race is falling on its face and hasn't very far to go. But every whippoorwill is selling me a bill and telling me it just ain't so. I could say life is just a bowl of jello and appear more intelligent and smart, but I'm stuck like a dope with a thing called hope, and I can't get it out of my heart. Not this heart.
While not super well received in the United States, the 1996 Disney film, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, was incredibly popular in Germany. So much so that a stage adaptation ran for 3 years in Berlin, one of Berlin's longest-running musicals ever. The American version of the musical debuted in 2014 and is quickly becoming an American theater staple. This song, with music by Alan Menken and lyrics by Stephen Schwartz, introduces us to the deep inner life of Quasimodo, the titular hunchbacked bellringer who lives hidden in the Tower of Notre Dame. Here, Quasimodo, sung by the delightful Owen Vice, sings of the life he dreams of.
Safe behind these windows and these parapets of stone, gazing at the people down below me. All my life I watch them as I hide up here alone, hungry for the histories they show me. All my life I memorize their faces, knowing them as they will never know me. All my life I wonder how it feels to pass a day not above them, but part of them. And out there, living in the sun, give me one day out there. All I ask is one to hold forever out there, where they all live unaware. What I'd give, what I'd dare, just to live one day out there. Out there among the millers and the weavers and their wives, through the roofs and gables I can see them. Every day they shout and scold and go about their lives, heedless of the gift it is to be them. If I were in their skin, I'd treasure every instant out there, strolling by the sand. Taste a morning out there, like ordinary men who freely walk about there. Just one day, and then I swear I'll be content with my share. Won't resent, won't despair. Old and bent, I won't care. I'll have spent one day out there.
Based on the classic fairy tale The Princess and the Pea, Once Upon a Mattress has become a staple musical for regional theaters and school theaters alike. With its wonderful score by Mary Rodgers, with lyrics by Marshall Barr, and delightfully comic characters, Once Upon a Mattress weaves a tale of whimsy, laughter, and ultimately happily ever afters. However, this show is anything but ordinary, especially when it comes to the main character, Princess Winifred, sung here by the wonderful Molly Smith. Not your average princess, Winifred, or Fred as she prefers to be called, worries in the song whether or not she'll get the ending she's dreaming of.
They all lived happily, happily, happily ever after. The couple is happily leaving the chapel eternally tied. As the curtain descends, there's nothing but loving and laughter. When the fairy tale ends, the heroine's always the bride. Ella, the girl of the cinders, did the washing of the walls and the windows, but she landed a prince who was brawny and blue-eyed and blonde. Still, I honestly doubt that she could ever have done it without that crazy lady with the wand. Cinderella had outside help. I've got no one but me, fairy godmother, 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 where could you be? I haven't got a fairy godmother. I haven't even got a godmother. I have a mother, a plain and ordinary woman. Snow White was so pretty, they tell us that the queen was insulted and jealous when the mirror declared that Snow White was the fairest of all. She was dumped on the border, but was saved by some men who adored her. Oh, I grant you, they were small, but there were 7 7 of them, practically a regiment. I'm alone in the night, by myself, not a dwarf, not an elf, not a goblin in sight. That girl had 7 determined little men working day and night just for her. Sure, the queen gave her a poison apple. Even so, she lived happily, happily, happily ever after. A magical kiss counteracted the apple eventually. Though I know I'm not clever, I'll do what they tell me I have to. I want some happily ever after to happen to me. Winifred Maid of the Mire has but one simple human desire. Oh, I long for no more than 2 shoes on the floor next to mine. Someone to fly and to float with, to swim in the marsh and the moat with. As for this one, well, he'd be fine, but now it's all up to me. And I'm burning to bring it about. If I don't, I'll be stuck with goodbye and good luck and get out. But I don't want to get out, I want to get into some happily, happily ever after. I want to walk happily out of the chapel eternally tied. For I know that I'll never live happily ever after. Till after I'm a bride, then I'll be happily happy. Yes, happily happy. And thoroughly satisfied, satisfied, satisfied. Oh.
Musicals are based on many things. TV shows, plays, fairy tales, fables, myths, movies, and especially books. However, few are as specific in origin as Natasha Pierre and The Great Common of 1812, a musical based on 70 pages of War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. The musical, with music and lyrics by Dave Malloy, finds its protagonist not in the obviously heroic Prince Andre, but in the shy, scholarly aristocrat Pierre. Adrift in his own existence, Pierre challenges his wife's lover to a duel, only to nearly lose his life. Reflecting upon his near-death experience, Pierre, sung here by our own aristocratic Tolstoy character, Alexander B. Walker, realizes that he is ready to wake up now.
Is this how I die? Ridiculed and laughed at, wearing clown shoes. Is this how I die? Furious and reckless, sick with booze. How did I live? I taste every wasted minute, every time I turned away from the things that might have healed me. How long have I been sleeping? Is this how I die? Frightened like a child, lazy and numb. Is this how I die? Pretending and preposterous and dumb. How did I live? Was I kind enough and good enough? Did I love enough? Did I look up and see the moon and the stars in the sky
Oh, why have I been sleeping? They say we are asleep until we fall in love. We are children of dust and ashes. But when we fall in love, we wake up, and we are a god, and angels weep. But if I die here tonight, I die in my sleep. All of my life I spent searching the words of poets and saints and prophets and kings, and now at the end all I know that I've learned is that all that I know is I don't know a thing. So easy to close off, place the blame outside, hiding in my room at night so terrified. All the things I could have been, but I never had the nerve. Life and love I don't deserve. So alright, I've had my time. Close my eyes, let the death bells chime. Bury me in Burgundy, I just don't care. Nothing's left, I've looked everywhere. Is this how I die? Was there ever any other way my life could be? Is this how I die? Such a storm of feelings inside of me. But then why am I screaming? Why am I shaking? Oh God, was there something that I missed? Did I squander my divinity? Was happiness within me the whole time? They say we are asleep until we fall in love. We are children of dust and ashes. But when we fall in love, we wake up, and we are a god, and angels weep. But if I die here tonight, I die in my sleep. They say we are asleep until we fall in love. And I'm so ready to wake up now. I want to wake up. Don't let me die while I'm like this. Please let me wake up. God, don't let me die while I'm like this. Please let me wake up now. God, don't let me die while I'm like this. I'm ready. I'm ready. To wake up.
And while we're valuing the miraculous wonder that is life, let's talk about our next musical, Tuck Everlasting. This is the long-awaited musical adaptation, music by Chris Miller and lyrics by Nathan Tyson, of the popular young adult novel. The Tuck family have discovered that drinking from a magical spring in Tree Gap, New Hampshire brings one eternal life. After being discovered by 11-year-old Winnie Foster, they decide to offer to include her in their eternity. In this song, Winnie must decide between the two conclusions her life could take. Here is the adorable Julia Walker singing Everlasting.
There are two ways home, down one long road, one clear path to to conclusions. Does the story end or never end? Does the secret fade or is it everlasting? I could return to my mother like nothing has happened, live like an imposter for 6 long years, turn 17, then good girl Winnie Foster, drinks from the vial and her past disappears. There are 2 ways home, down one long road, one clear path to conclusions. Does the story end or never end? Does the secret fade or is it everlasting? Or I put the tucks behind me and pull up the anchor, ride the wheel of plenty for all that it's worth, turn 17, then 18, then 20, for life is the greatest wonder on earth. Can I, should I, do I drink? Can I, should I, will I drink? There are 2 ways home, down one long road, one clear path to conclusions. Does the story end or never end? Does the secret fade or is it everlasting? Is it everlasting?
Based on the George Bernard Shaw play Pygmalion, Lerner and Loewe's My Fair Lady is one of the most popular musicals of all time. In this next song, Freddie Eynsford Hill, sung here by the charming Blaine Lindzi, sings to his love Eliza Doolittle on the street where she lives.
People stop and stare, they don't bother me, 'cause there's nowhere else on earth that I would rather be. All at once am I several stories high, knowing I'm on the street where you live. Are there lilac trees in the heart of town? Can you hear a lark in any other part of town? Does enchantment pour out of every door? No, it's just on the street where you live. And all the towering feeling, just to know somehow you are near. The overpowering feeling that any second you may suddenly appear. People stop and stare, they don't bother me, 'cause there's nowhere else on earth that I would rather be. Let the time go by, I don't care if I can be here on the street where you live. Let the time go by, I don't care if I can be here on the street where you live.
Typecasting is all well and good, but it is up to us as performers to refine our skills that give us our typecast, but also work to make directors and audiences look beyond. After all, it is up to us to define our destiny. Our final song is from The Baker's Wife and features music and lyrics by Stephen Schwartz. In this song, the baker's wife, Genevieve, retells the legend of the Meadowlark. By staying in its caged life, the Meadowlark dies of sadness rather than running away with the sun god. Genevieve chooses to change her fate in this song, Meadowlark. We hope you have enjoyed our first act and hope to see you next week. Here to sing us home is the remarkable Meg Phinney.
When I was a girl, I had a favorite story of the meadowlark who lived where the rivers wind. Her voice could match the angels in its glory, but she was blind. The lark was blind, and old King came and took her to his palace, where the walls were burnished bronze with golden braid, and he fed her fruit and nuts from an ivory chalice, and he prayed, "Sing for me, my meadowlark, sing for me of the silver morning, set me free, my meadowlark, and I'll buy you a priceless jewel in cloth and brocade and crewel, and I'll love you for life if you will sing for me." Then one day as the lark sang by the water, the god of the sun heard her in his flight, and her singing moved him so he came and brought her the gift of sight. He gave her sight, and she opened her eyes to the shimmer and the splendor of this beautiful young god, so proud and strong. And he called to the lark in a voice both rough and tender, "Come along, fly with me, my meadowlark, fly with me on the silver morning, past the sea where the dolphins bark. We will dance on the coral beaches, and we'll feast on the plums and peaches, just as far as your vision reaches. Fly with me." But the meadowlark said no, for the old king loved her so. She couldn't bear to wound his pride. So the sun god flew away, and when the king came down that day, he found his meadowlark had died. Every time I heard that part, I cried, and now I stand here starry-eyed and stormy. Oh, just when I thought my heart was finally numb, a beautiful young man appears before me, saying, "Come, I'll let you come. And what can I do if finally for the first time the one I'm burning for returns the glow? If love has come at last, it's picked the worst time. Still I know I've got to go. Fly away, meadowlark, fly away on the silver morning. If I stay, I'll grow to curse the dark. So it's all that the days don't bind me. I know I leave wounds behind me, but I won't let tomorrow find me back before my past once again can blind me. Fly away. And we won't wait to say goodbye, my beautiful